Okay, this is a continuation tutorial from the email every hour or sending emails every hour from a server with PHP. Now let's say that this is where we're selecting the latest newsletter, and emailing it to the subscribers. Okay, now let's say that somebody unsubscribed. How do you handle that? Okay, so what we want to do is we want to go to our PHP admin, our local host, and under our newsletter database, we'll open it up, and under users we have to add another little field. This email that inserts the last newsletter that they've been emailed. But let's say, hey, I don't want to get your emails anymore, and it's against the law to send an email to somebody if they don't want it. So what you would do is you would go to structure here and add one more column, and let's just do this after emailed like this, and we'll say unsub for unsubscribe. Okay, unsub, and we'll just make it a varchar and 10 characters, I guess, and we'll just go ahead and save that. So now whenever we look at the structure, we have unsub, and if this is an N, if this has the letter Y in it, that means that they're unsubscribed from it and that we will not send them an email. So how do we handle this during the code? Well, we want to select all from user where emailed is not, the new ID, so we could send them the newest one. And then let's put the word and, unsub equals, and then in single quotes we'll put Y. And it'll let us know that they are subscribed to the newsletter, so it's legal and lawful for us to go ahead and send them one. So now here's the other thing that you have to think about. Under user sign up, what we'll do is we're going to put a hidden field. So we'll go input type equals hidden, and the name is going to be unsub, just like that. And then the value is going to equal Y. So, and then we have to come up here and duplicate another variable here, and the name that we're bringing in is unsub. And so here we have value name. We have to make another field here, and this one is called unsub. This is the particular thing in our database, and then we have to make another variable, so we'll duplicate this variable and unsub, copy, put it here, so that whenever they sign up for the newsletter, they're automatically subscribed to it. So if we want to test that out, we'll go to user sign up in our local host. Let me bring the browser over here. Let's go to localhost and go to PHP email, and then it would be user sign up dot PHP, just like this, and we'll make his name Frank, and then Frank at a1sold.com or something like that. And we'll hit submit, and if we go to the local host and we look at users, we could see that Frank just signed up and he's automatically subscribed. So that unsub, if you could view that one of two ways. Unsub means if there's a Y, that means they unsubscribed. If it's a no or an N, that means that they don't want to be subscribed to the newsletter. So we'll just establish that as the policy. If there's an N, they do not get the newsletter. If there's a Y, they do. But we'll just have one be an N. Now, how can we test this to make sure that this is functioning properly? Well, if we go to see data, so we're going to select all from users where unsub is equal to Y. And we'll go ahead and save that. And over here, we'll come over here, and with this user sign up, we'll say see data, just like that. And we notice that we only have 3 because we have one that's unsubscribed. So if we change that to a a Y, right? If we change it to a Y, hit refresh, then we see all 4 of them. Okay, so they won't get an email if they're unsubscribed from the data, if they're unsubscribed for the newsletter. Okay, so the script thus far is going to give you like the bare bones of what's needed. Now, one of the problems is that having your post variables set up like this leaves you vulnerable for an SQL injection. So what can we do about that? Well, if you're on A1 Website Pro and you come over to the PHP snippets right here where we're at, okay, I have an example of a form down here where you'll see these HTML entities code. Let me scroll down here. See where my SQL real escape string right here? This is going to strip out any malicious code that gets posted, you know. So let's say somebody comes and signs up for your newsletter and they put a JavaScript in there trying to trip you up a little bit, okay? Well, this is what you want to do to protect yourself. So we're going to go in here, and it's a good idea even to put it in the admin where, you know, you're going to be posting yourself. Now, right away, if we highlight this and we'll take that DB variable, okay, and then we're going to put another parenthesis right here. Now this is a problem. This is going to be CON because our database and our config file is cron, just like that, all right, for connection. So we could get rid of that. And this is what you want to put on each one of these right here. Let me show you how to do it. Copy. You want to paste it here, and you want to paste it here. And then, of course, you want to put the ending parenthesis on each one. Okay? Because it's going through and it's connecting to your database. And every time you got to connect to your database, you better damn well sure protect it. And so that's what you definitely have to do on user sign up. Now, I'm also going to put this on other ones too. So let's go ahead and let's see, there's user sign up, and then there's create a newsletter or news form. Okay, so here we go right here where it says title. Okay, so we're going to take and we're going to escape the my real escape string right there. Okay, put it right there. All right, now we have a pretty well protected form that's, that'll save you from any injections into your database, and that's how you do that. Okay, so now you want to see this in action, right? So what we got to do is, we know it's working on the local server, but we don't have a mailer on a local server, so we can't actually send emails. So what I want you to do is log into your cPanel, and here's my cPanel, okay? And what you want to do is come down to PHP MyAdmin or my MySQL database. You want to create another database here, okay? And let me create a database. We'll call it newsletter, okay? And then click next step. And then what you want to do is give it a username. Then you can use a password generator. We'll use that password, okay? Just like that there. And then we'll create the user. Okay. Now, after this has been created, let me go ahead and put this password in a different spot so I can have it. I'll put it over here. And then we want to grab this information right here, okay? Copy it. We want to give this user all privileges and then go to the next step. Now make sure you save all that information, including your password, okay? All right, so we see that it has been created. So we created the database, okay? Now we're ready to go edit our config file and so on, or upload our files to the server. And you can do that with Notepad++, but you're going to do it one file at a time, all right? So let's go ahead and close all these files here, all right? And under our plugins, we're going to connect to the A1 Website Pro server. All right, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a new directory on the server. Wait a minute, let's see here. Make sure I'm in the right. Yes, I'm in the right directory. So I'm going to create a new directory or a new folder and call it newsletters. Okay, or newsletters. Yeah. All right, and then you'll see that I have another file here. Newsletter. Okay, now I'm going to go inside this file or inside this folder. I'm going to create my config file. Because you know that's what I need to connect to my database, right? I need that config file. So right here, I'm going to put my config file from my server here, and I'm going to grab my config right here. All right, I'm going to copy all this code just like this, and I'm going to paste it in right there. Okay, now I'm going to change these variables here to match the ones that I just created, but I can't show you this because it would leave my server vulnerable. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. I'm going to pause the video. Okay, I uploaded the config file to my newsletters. You know, this is the one that was on my test server, which is no big deal. Now what I want to do is go to A1 Website Pro, where I have this little thing kicking. So A1 Website Pro, and then newsletters, and then /config.php, and I'm going to be looking for a successful connection, and I'm good. So that means I'm keyed in on that database for my scripts. I'm able to start creating tables in it like I showed you earlier, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So what we're going to do is let's go. Now we're not going to create database this way, so this particular script here we're not going to worry about because now we already created the database, but we are going to create the tables. However, what we are going to worry about, we're going to close all these once again, okay? And then, so now news form, right? This is where we create the newsletter. We want to make sure that this is working, right? So under newsletter, we'll create a new file. We'll call it newsform.php, just like that. Double click that there. Okay. And we'll just highlight everything in here. And then we'll paste it in here. And let's make a couple test newsletters, shall we? So we'll go newsform.php. All right, so here we go. We're going to put our title in here. And this is a test newsletter. Okay. Now, let me go grab an image here from my sidebar. Just my logo. Copy image address. And then let's say that we want to put the picture in there. So we click picture. And we'll just go ahead and put it in there. You could upload it to any server, really, and as long as it's public. And then let's just go ahead and submit our newsletter. Okay. And then we'll put test 2. And once again, we'll go ahead and put the logo in there, since we already have it on our clipboard. And say this is the second newsletter, just like that. And we'll hit submit. Let's go check our database, make sure we got our newsletter submitted in there. Okay, and we're having an issue. The newsletter did not get submitted to the database, so we have to investigate and see what happened here. So, and we're going to do that just like we did before in the previous lesson. So what we want to do is double click load tables. We'll get rid of this config file out of here, and we got to create a new file in this folder called, create tables.php, just like that. And once that file's created, we'll go ahead and download it. We'll grab all this info here, paste it in. We can X that out. Now we want to create a table called newsletters, and we know our newsletter has a title. And then duplicate, we know that it has content, but the content is going to be in text because text allows you to insert more. And you could have like 250,000 characters. So, and then we want to do table newsletters created successfully. We save that, upload it to the server, and let me see here. We'll go ahead and go to A1 Website Pro, Newsletters, and let's see here. Newsletters, create tables, and you see here that it's successfully created. Okay, and if we go to the database and we check the database, we can see we have our newsletters here, and the structure is ID, title, content, and the timestamp. Okay, so now we have to do it with the users. So we want to create users, and they have a name. We can get rid of the text thing. Let's duplicate this. They have an email, and then we can echo out a message to ourselves. Table users created successfully, and we'll save that. And what we'll do is we'll just come here and we will refresh this. Table users created successfully. We could check the database and make sure that is the case. Okay, and then we have users here. And here's the structure for the users. Now, there was a little thing that we added in here. Let me show you how to do it here, where we need to add another column right after email called unsub. So we want to add one column after email, okay, and we're going to call it unsub. For the people that unsubscribe, we'll make it varchar, length of 10 values, and just click save. Okay, and that way we have our unsub, if people unsubscribe, we'll know it. Okay, so now we have create tables. Now, here's the deal about this. You want to get this off your server as soon as possible. Okay? All right. It's not that it's going to hurt anything, but we just don't want to give the ability to. And all we have on here is our config file. Now, the first thing we need is a user sign up, right? So here we go. Here's our user sign up. Go to newsletters, create a new file, user sign up.php, just like that. Double click that. Now here's the beautiful thing about it. Just copy it, and all we have to do is paste it in there and save it. Okay? Because our database is ready now for us to start adding users. So we'll go here and say user sign up.php, just like it. Oops, I got too many PHPs there. All right, there we go. So user sign up, Maximus McCullough, customer service, John Smith. We try to use real email addresses this time so we can see them come through. Jack Smack, and we'll use Max at A1 Website Pro. I have a few different emails. Okay. So there we go. We have our users put in our database, and how we could check that. We can actually go to the database and click on users and see them in there. Okay. Now, if we wanted to retrieve it on the server, we could manipulate this C data like we had done earlier. But we're not going to worry about that right now. Right away, I see it says insert into newsletter, and that's a plural, right? So we're just going to go ahead and save that. Because we don't have a table called newsletters, we only have a table called, or newsletter, we have it called newsletters. Okay, so now let's go ahead and fill out our news form again. We'll say test 1, and then put in our URL for our logo. This is test 1. All right, and then we'll put test 2 and say this is test 2, and then once again we'll put in the image and hit submit. Now let's go take a look at our newsletters in our database, and we can see that they're coming through, and see they have the HTML tags. All right, so now what do we want to do? Well, we want to be able to access the database and send the newsletters. So on our final file, we're going to do, create a new file, send newsletter.php. Okay. We're going to come up here. Now, you notice that these all say newsletter, so we're going to have to be cognizant of that whenever we put that in here because we want it to be plural. So we want to select all from newsletters, okay? In order by ID, descend limit. Okay, and then this is the mailer. Now we're going to be talking about this mailer because you'll see later whenever the emails come through. So let me hit save. Now remember, it's supposed to select the latest newsletter. So we're supposed to get number 2 out of here because we've only created 2 newsletters. And it's supposed to select all from users where the emailed is not the new ID, right? And unsub is Y. Okay, that means if it's Y, they are subscribed. If it's N, that means they are not subscribed. Okay, and if we look at our database here, take a look at our user database, we see that all of the emails are subscribed. Okay, so let's go ahead and save that and upload it to the server. And so send newsletter. Here's what we'll do. We'll go to send newsletter, just like that, PHP. Okay, now we connected successfully, but we have a problem on line 13, so let's go investigate what it is. Okay, so here's what the issue is. Emailed, whenever we created the database, we didn't put that in there. So we want to make sure that we put emailed in the structure. So we want to go here, and after email, we want to make emailed to see if they had gotten the new newsletter. So emailed, and that's going to be a varchar, and we'll just make it 10 characters long, and that's fine. Okay. So now what we'll do is we'll rerun this script now that it has the table to insert into. And you see that now there's 3 blank spots. Okay, so if we go to users, we can see that they were all emailed the second email. All right. So let me go check my emails here, and I'll show you how it came through. Okay, just like this. Let me get them in here. And so here we see that we get a bunch of this stuff, right here. This is test 2. And you notice the P tags are coming in. So it doesn't look too good, right? So how do we handle that? Well, there's a thing called, there's a little script that you have to use for HTML. Let me show you that. Okay, here it is. Now, what you would change this to, whatever you are at your website. But we need a different set of headers in here for it to use HTML. So you notice I put in here from Max at A1 Website Pro reply. And if you wanted to, copy somebody in the email, you could do it like this. We're not going to copy anybody in the email. But this stuff here is important, so we make sure that we're using the HTML. So we're just going to go ahead and save this, upload it to the server, okay? And then the next thing we're going to do, what we're going to have to do, is go back to the database. And let me see if I can find this in all these windows that I got kicking around here. Okay, let's go back to the database, and if we refresh the users, you'll see that they were all emailed number 2. All right, so let's go ahead and make all these back, put them all back to nothing. Okay, just like that. And then maybe we'll unsubscribe Max at A1 Website Pro, or Max at A1, or Max at A1. So we'll put an N there. Say this user came in, he unsubscribed. Okay, so now we're going to come back here. We're going to do a hard refresh, resend them newsletters again. Okay, so they should be sent, and let's bring over the new ones. So now we notice that we only got 2 in here. So you notice now we're getting images, and we're not getting the code. So that's what that little the headers does for you whenever you're doing it. And notice I only got 2 emails that time instead of 3. So it's only sending to the 2 addresses, okay? And if we check the database, so let's go ahead and check the database and click on users again. You notice it only sent to these 2 right here, and that's what you want. So when people unsubscribe, they're not getting unwanted email. Now, so you might be asking, how do you set this up on a cron? Well, before I go any further, I'm going to go back in here and I'm going to set this back to nothing, okay? And we'll still leave this guy being unsubscribed. And we'll have to go to our cPanel for this process. So let me log into the cPanel. Okay, so I'm here in my cPanel. Now what this cPanel is going to do is it's going to look for a time and a date, and it's going to send commands. So what we want to do is type in cron just like this, and you see here cron jobs, and you'll click on it. All right. Now, whenever you get here, there will be some settings. All right. Now, the common setting, these are some common settings. So if you want the once per hour, okay, and the command line that you want here, I actually set it up. I gave you this little command line down here, and you're going to have to know your username for your cPanel because you've got to change it right here, okay? So we're going to come in here, we're going to copy this, and in our command line, and what we want to do is, let me get my username for A1 Website Pro, and then I'm going to replace this with my username and click Add the cron job. Okay, so now I replaced it with my username there, and I'm just going to click Add New Cron Job. Now every hour that thing will run, okay? See, I have another cron job running down here, but every hour it's going to go check and see if there's any newsletters and if there's anybody that signs up in the future now. So let's say I released a newsletter yesterday, and I get somebody that signs up today. The next hour he's going to get that most recent newsletter. He's going to get it sent to him. So that is a great way, to capitalize on your news signups with your existing content. And then whenever you write the next newsletter, the next hour that comes around, what's going to happen is this cron job's going to run. It's going to go, and it's going to go to that script that you wrote, and it's going to hit it, and it's going to send out emails to all of them. And that's how you can get away with, when you can only send 50 newsletters per hour and so on. Now we're going to probably develop this tutorial even further so you can look at confirmations so you know who's been sent what, who's gotten an email, who hasn't. And we're going to develop this a little bit further as we continue on these tutorials about sending emails, because email marketing is pretty hot and heavy, and it's a good thing to do. And you'll be able to probably accomplish a lot more and be more efficient at it as well. Okay, this is Max with A1 Website Pro. I hope this tutorial was able to help someone out.